While everyone's still chasing gold and crypto, the world's smartest investors are quietly buying one metal that's powering every EV, solar plant, and AI chip on the planet. It's not silver, it's not crypto. Looks like someone saying crypto is not metal. Yes, true. It's something you touch every single day without realizing its power. Copper. Copper is not just another commodity. It's the backbone of the modern world. But here's what most people completely miss. It's not just demand rising, it's a global scramble to get enough of it. Global demand is exploding as EVs, renewables, and AI data centers. This all multiply, but supply can't keep up. Analysts say this imbalance could create the next wave of millionaires by 2030. In this video, I will break down exactly why copper is emerging as the most valuable wealth building metal of our generation. And I will also reveal 3 copper stocks and ETFs that smart investors are already betting on. Stay till the end because those who understand this shift early could ride the biggest wealth wave of the decade. Let's see demand boom. Why copper is the future. Imagine an electric car. How does it move? Electricity runs through motors and thick wiring. And guess what? Those wires are made of copper. Let's make it real. Imagine your next car, your phone, even your future home, all running through this one metal. A normal petrol car uses around 20 to 25 kg of copper. An EV uses 50 to 80 plus kg of copper. That's up to 4x more copper per vehicle. And EV sales are exploding. More EVs, more copper. Simple math. But EVs are just the start. Solar panels need copper. Wind turbines need copper. Charging stations need copper. AI data centers need massive copper wiring for power and cooling. And this is where it gets wild. Even the AI training models behind this video are powered by copper. You are literally watching this through it. And here's the craziest part. India's copper demand has already increased by more than 9% in fiscal year 2025, mainly because of renewable energy and infrastructure expansion. Experts believe India's demand will keep growing strongly for the next several years. Copper is not optional, it's mandatory for the future. Okay, that's what the demand side. But now comes the part no one talks about, the supply crisis. Copper supply is not keeping up. Now here's the second part of the story which makes copper even more valuable. While demand is rising, global copper mines are struggling. Good quality copper ore is becoming rare. New mines take more than 10 years to start production. Recently, some of the world's biggest mines had accidents and delays, including the Grasberg mine in Indonesia. And in 2023, Cobre Panama was forced to shut down, removing almost 1% of global copper supply. Think about that. One mine, 1% gone. Just imagine if one shutdown can shake the market. What happens when 3 or 4 go offline? That's how bull run begins. This is why experts say if the world goes green faster than copper production grows, prices could explode. Because of these disruptions, analysts believe we may face copper shortages in 2025-2026. This situation is similar to what happened with gold before its big rally in 2011. When supply is limited and demand is rising, prices naturally go up. So copper is entering a very strong demand supply cycle. Most people think copper is just another metal. But what I am about to show you flips that belief completely. The real asset and inflation protection. Gold is known as an inflation hedge, but copper is now becoming a growth plus inflation hedge. Why? Because copper is required for development. New roads, new factories, renewable energy, EV chargers, everything uses copper. Even if inflation rises, countries cannot delay these projects. That means copper demand stays strong even in tough times. But remember, copper is connected to economic growth, so its price can move up and down in the short term. It's a long-term investment story. So if the world can't function without copper, the real question is how do you make this trend work for you? Also, how do you profit from this? Before we start this is not a financial advice. Always do your own research. Now we will look at an Indian stock and few global ETFs and indices and a new ETF option too. So let's get into the first stock, Hindustan Copper Limited, HCL. Hindustan Copper is India's only fully integrated copper company, from mining to final metal production. So when copper demand increases in India, HCL directly benefits. India currently imports a lot of copper after Sterlite's closure. If you don't know what Sterlite is, it was a major copper producer in India back then. It got sealed in May 2018 for some environment concerns. That's a different matter. Let's get back to the point. So domestic production is very important and HCL plays a key role. The company also has a large copper reserves and it is planning expansions to meet demand from EVs, power and renewable sectors. But remember, it is a government company and mining expansions take time. So treat this as an high risk, long term bet on India's copper story. You can fund it on both NSE and BSE and suitable for long term holding with proper research and risk management. If the first one felt local, this next one takes you global and the scale might surprise you. Let's next jump to an international ETF. Don't worry, you can too invest in it. COPX Global X Copper Miners ETF USA. This ETF invests in top copper mining companies across the world. So you are not depending on only one company. Your risk is spread across multiple miners. It's like you are buying entire copper mining industry in one go. If copper prices rise, miners generally earn higher profits. So their stock prices can grow even faster. This ETF is available on the US market and people from India can invest through LRS using platforms like IND Money or Vested. Always good for long-term copper cycle. We do have a risk of commodity cycles and global market volatility. Okay, now let's talk about an index fund of the United States. CPER, US Copper Index Fund. This one doesn't invest in miners directly. Instead, it invests in copper futures, meaning it tracks the market price of copper more closely. It gives you direct copper price exposure, like owning copper virtually. But because it uses futures, returns can be volatile. This is better for people who want to benefit from short to medium term price moves in copper. Just keep volatility and risk management in mind before making any investments. Let's finally talk about the new ETF in the market, which is ICOP, iShares Copper and Metal Mining ETF. This is a new ETF that focuses mainly on copper and related mining companies with a lower expense ratio. This too comes from United States. It is slowly getting more investors. It can be a good option if you want a diversified global exposure at a lower cost. It's good for those who are fee conscious and long-term investors. It definitely has a risk since it's a new fund. Liquidity may be lower initially. Not my top pick as compared to COPX and CPER, but definitely one to watch. Before you jump with an excitement, here's where most investors go wrong with themes like this. Now let's see how much should you invest. Look, copper is a thematic investment. It should never be your full portfolio. Smart allocation strategy somewhat looks like core portfolio, which are your index funds, blue chips, depth funds should be 85 to 90%, and copper theme can be 10 to 15% max. Definitely a long-term investment. Rebalance your portfolio every year and don't let it grow too large. Copper is a roller coaster. You ride the long trend, not the daily bumps. This is how smart investors build wealth without losing sleep. And this next part is critical. Even the best stories can go wrong if you ignore these risk signals. Let's know the risk. Every investment comes with risk. Here's what to remember. Copper prices swing sometimes aggressively. Mines face political environment shutdown. Futures like in CPR can behave unexpectedly. EV adoption speed affects demand curve. China slowdown impacts commodity markets. So be smart. Don't over invest. Don't panic sell. Stay disciplined. So before you scroll away, remember trends come and go, but fundamentals like copper last for decades. If you missed the gold rally, this is your second chance. Don't miss copper. EVs, renewables, and AI are not the future anymore. They are happening right now, and copper is the backbone holding it all together. Start small, stay consistent, let compounding do the heavy lifting. Because a decade from now, when everyone's talking about copper boom, you will remember you heard it first right here. So tell me in the comments, which side of the history will you be on? Hindustan Copper, COPX, CPER or ICOP? Which one's your bet for the copper decade? Drop your pick below. Smash that like button if this video gave you clarity, and share it with one friend who always asks what should I invest in next. See you in the next one, and remember the copper decade starts now. This is Bala signing off.